Hey everybody, thanks so much for taking the time to watch my video today. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please make sure you do so and make sure to hit the little bell to get all the notifications. And if you haven't checked out the description already, please make sure to do so. There may or may not be a free class in there, as well as a 50% off code for your first month of online classes with me. So the question is, are you ready to become a belly dance teacher? There are numerous things to consider before teaching the style of belly dance that you want to teach, whether it's rock sharky or American cabaret vintage oriental, if it's Lebanese oriental, if it's Greek Oriental, right? If it's Turkish Oriental or any other form, or folkloric, or any other form that you may be considering, it's really important to consider the next things that we're going to be talking about. And it's also really important to consider the idea of what you think a belly dance teacher is. So, one of the myths that I want to dispel is that it's a glamorous life. We just live in glitter all day and just frolic around in our beautiful costumes and all of this stuff. Wouldn't that be effing amazing if we could actually do that? But that is not what it takes to be a really amazing teacher who's really in service of the students as well as getting the information across the way you want to. It does take some footwork, it does take some sweat equity, and it takes time. So that is one of the biggest things that I have come across when I talk to other people is, oh my gosh, you get to dance all day and you get to wear beautiful costumes and you get to do this and you get to do that. And I also want to clarify, being a teacher is different from being a performer. Just because you're an amazing performer doesn't make you a great teacher, and just because you're a great teacher doesn't make you a great performer. They are two separate things, and typically when we're teaching, we're not in full costume. So that also dispels the myth that we're just living this life of glitter luxury, right? Which would be amazing. But it just doesn't happen that way. So when you're really considering, are you ready to be a belly dance teacher? We're really approaching it with this lifestyle mentality as well as how we want to approach that lifestyle, right? Is it going to be a hobby thing? Is it going to be a professional track? Is it going to be, oh, just as long as it happens to work out, just as long as it's convenient, just as long as I'm making money, right? So all of these things start to really come into play when you're considering what you want to be doing as a belly dance teacher in any way, shape, or form, in any style that you're doing. The first thing that I want to cover is you being very clear on why you're teaching in the first place, right? What is compelling you to teach? Why do you want to teach? For me, the reason I teach is because there's a sense of higher purpose for me in serving the community around me. And the platform that I'm using is dance. I want people to connect with themselves and feel authentic in the way they live their life, feel a sense of compassion for themselves, and allow themselves to step into their greatness. I also truly believe in closing the disparity between those with opportunity and those without opportunity, which is why that you see that I have free offerings when I teach, and then things that I pay, that people pay for when I teach. So those are my whys. Those are my reasons for getting up and doing what I do, because I love it, I connect to it, and it's meaningful to me. So what is your why? Get really clear on that. Is it because you just enjoy being around other people? If you just enjoy being around other people, what is it about belly dance specifically that allows you to live that out, right? What is it about movement that allows you to live that purpose out? Are you there because you just want to be in service of people and you get to do it in a realm of something that you love, right? Getting really clear helps you stay focused on why you continue to teach, especially when you start teaching for over a decade. I'm like in my 15th year of teaching now, and it's really important for me to be present to what compels me to get up every day and still do the same thing over and over again in order to be of service to my students, right? So what is it about it for you that makes you like, you still look at it with that sense of joy, with that sense of fulfillment, with that sense of purpose. Whether it's to just create an atmosphere of love, whether it's just to create a platform where we can honor a culture, where it's an atmosphere for people to enjoy the being that they are in, right? Get really clear on that for yourself, because you'll be reflecting upon it a lot as time goes by. The next thing that I want to ask you is, who are you looking to serve, right? Who is it that you're wanting to teach? Who is it that you want to show up in your classes? And you're not going to have all the answers to this, but it's something to start exploring, right? Who is it that you want to serve? Are you wanting to be inclusive? Are you wanting to be just a very specific niche of people? Is it only people who have interest in it as a fitness? Is it people who don't have the opportunity to learn via paid classes, and you're offering it through like the service of someone else paying for it and sponsoring you, or you're just offering it for free, right? Who is it you're looking to serve? Is it people who were coming from your similar situation because they lived similar experiences? Is it because they share a similar body type to you, a similar skin color to you, a similar like cultural background? It's really important to get clear on that, because it'll help direct where you focus your attention, fulfilling your why, and who you want to serve, who you want to show up in your classes, and where you are dedicating your time to make that impact that you have on the world. One of the big questions that people ask themselves when they start asking, am I ready to teach belly dancing, is asking themselves where they are in their current journey of education, knowledge, skill set, cultural context, what community they're currently in, right? One of the things when you teach is to make sure that as a teacher, are you ready to be in the instructor world? Because there's a certain set of responsibilities that come with that, whether it's fulfilling upon promises that you make, right? Or it's being financially responsible with people and their money, right? It has this context to it, but we want to see where we are personally at in relation to those things, right? And when we can't handle those things, like let's say you have a conversation in your head, I'm not good with money, right? Maybe you hire someone to take care of that for you, or you set up a system where you don't have to worry about it in order to have your classes happen. Maybe it's automatic sign in, and then they get paid online, you get paid online, and then boom, it just happens to show up in your account. You don't have to personally reach out to people. Awesome, you set those systems up. The other side of it is also considering where you are in your personal knowledge base. So how much knowledge do I have? How much skill do I have? Can I coach someone well enough to guide them in the direction that they want to go, right? Which is super important. If people only want to have fun in your class, maybe teaching them things that are too technically specific can work against what they want. On the flip side, if people want to learn every aspect and you keep it at a more fitness for fun level and don't go into the nitty-gritty, that also may not serve what they want. So being really aware of how your knowledge can show up for your students, right? The other thing too is to understand, are you in a place where you can accurately deliver the information of which you want people to know? Do you know enough about the body that you can make sure that people are safe? Do you know enough about the art form to make sure that we are respecting people's culture and not culturally appropriating them, right? And their culture as well. And making sure, can we be responsible for that information? And when we flip up or mess up, that we take ownership for that, right? And that's okay too. But these are things you want to consider, because these are real responsibilities that start to come into your world that you want to be responsible for, but also just plain being aware of and anticipating coming with the title of teacher or instructor or anyone in a mentorship position that is giving information to someone else, especially as a paid service. So you want to make sure, where is my knowledge? Where is my skills? Can I accurately deliver the information? And what kind of information are students expecting from me? Can I deliver upon that? So we're really taking, this is a big point, right? We're really taking this full picture and making sure, can we give people those things, as well as make sure we are there ourselves. The thing that makes teachers great teachers is that they are continually learning themselves. If you're in a point where you're like, I'm done learning, I've learned all that I want to learn, and now I'm ready to teach, you definitely can still teach. I'm not saying that you can't. And there may come a point where your students need more from you than what you have right now, and it is the responsibility of a teacher to refer them out so they can be served appropriately, right? So are you going to continue learning yourself? Is this something that you want to continually grow in? For me personally, I'm like, in order for me to be a great teacher, I am continuously learning. I study on my own. I take workshops. I learn from my students. I reflect back on what they're telling me and how that class went, how our private lessons went, all of that stuff. I'm constantly reflecting to make sure that I'm continually growing and I'm not staying stagnant. Because if I'm doing that and I'm staying flat, what's going to happen to my students? They're going to stay flat too. And last but not least, the point I really want to get across as well, in addition to everything else that we talked about, is, do you have a mentor? Do you have a second pair of eyes that can be there to see what you're doing, for you to reflect back upon your lessons, the way things went? How are you able to make sure that you stay in line yourself with what you want, how you want to serve people, how you want to show up, what you're teaching them, and all of that good stuff? I have a mentor. I actually have two. I have two coaches in order for me to make sure I am in alignment with what I want and how I can best serve my clientele and my students, right? So it's not just me going in blindly as a solo person, not knowing that, oh, well, I can't get outside help because it's just me. No, it is a team of people supporting you in being an amazing teacher. So do you have a mentor? Do you have someone there to coach you along, to celebrate your successes with, to work through those challenges with? That will make your teaching experience a more fulfilling one and help you show up as the person that you want to be, and will give you that insight into whether or not you're ready to start teaching. That being said, I'm going to shamelessly plug my Badass Teacher Academy because I believe in this program wholeheartedly. We are going to be working on the challenges that you're facing when you are thinking about becoming a teacher, when you are already a teacher, and really working through them so you can come out the other side feeling empowered, feeling freedom, feeling like you can show up full force passionately for your students in the way that they want to be in your class, whether it's for fun, whether it's for technique, whether it's for culture. You get to show up as that person, that beacon of amazingness for them to get what they will get out of your class, but also you enjoying the journey of being a teacher and giving back to yourself in a way that helps you feel alive, and in turn giving back to your students. So if you haven't checked out my Badass Teacher Academy, BTA, the link is below in the description. I would highly recommend that if you are a teacher or you are thinking about teaching, that you check out this program. It is 6 weeks long, and we are working diligently on creating what you want out of becoming a teacher. So make sure you check out the description below, and if you have any questions, I am here to support you. Reach out to me. Thank you so much for watching my video today. I hope it was informative and helpful for you. Remember, I'm here to support you and answer questions for you, so don't be afraid to hit me up or comment below so I can respond back to you. Make it a great one.